Welcome to LFC Transfer Hub. First news is Liverpool icon Sadio Mane breaks silence on ending Mohamed Salah's AFCON dream, and second news is Andy Robertson confirms new Liverpool contract talks as Red Star faces difficult question. Now details. Former Liverpool winger Sadio Mane has praised former teammate Mohamed Salah for his Egypt heroics after ending his Africa Cup of Nations hopes. The Senegal icon scored the only goal of the game as he booked his nation's place in Sunday's final against Morocco. For Salah, he will look to earn bronze against Nigeria as they were denied a place in the continent's showpiece match on penalties. The 33-year-old will now be forced to wait for another bite at ending the Pharaoh's quest for the piece of silverware, which has eluded Salah and Egypt's grasp since the triumph in Angola 16 years ago. The Liverpool forward will be 36 by the time the next tournament comes around, hosted across 3 nations with Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania host the tournament, held between June and July 2027. Speaking to BBC World Service, Mane, "It is not easy for him, but still best of luck. He did everything to carry his team until now. Unfortunately, one of us had to lose. I'm happy to be in the final." The two shared an embrace as they prepared to make their way to the field, but the semi-final wasn't without incident, however, with Salah bringing his former teammate down to halt a breakaway, sparking a tussle between the respective benches. The Egyptian avoided punishment for the incident, as both he and Mane played peacemakers in a bid to simmer the bubbling tensions in the high-stakes semi-final. Mane left Liverpool in 2022 to join Bayern Munich, before ending his nightmare stint in Bavaria to join the Saudi Pro League exodus, linking up with Cristiano Ronaldo. It was a familiar feeling of disappointment for Salah against his former Liverpool strike partner after Senegal denied Egypt during the 2021 AFCON final. The tie was goalless after 120 minutes, with Mane missing a penalty inside 10 minutes, but he atoned for his error during the penalty shootout to claim a famous victory. The 4-2 win on spot kicks meant that Salah was denied the chance to salvage their place in the showpiece, with Mohamed Abdelmonem and Mohanad Lashin denied. Salah had performed heroics for Houssam Hassan's side during this installment of the competition, netting 4 goals, with only Brahim Diaz scoring more in the hunt for the Golden Boot. The 33-year-old scored in each of his first 4 appearances in the competition, with a decision being taken for him to be rested in the dead rubber against Angola in their final Group B match, including key contributions against Zimbabwe and South Africa. Egypt manager Hassan launched an extraordinary rant in the wake of Egypt's semi-final exit. He said, "Egypt does not need excuses and apologies. Egypt is great, and no one will dare to win 7 titles like us. We just needed fairness like Senegal. We played the day after the Senegal match, who are playing in the semi on the same field, and I'm surprised by that. By what FIFA law is what happened to the Egypt team done?" He continued, "When a team reaches the semis, do you honor it or torture it? It is expected that teams will be given a break fairly among them to see a great semi, but what happened is that the 3 teams got more rest. I told the players to ignore the chants from the stands and focus. I don't want to talk about it. We are Arabs of Africa, and Egypt is great, the mother of the Arabs and the mother of Africa in terms of history and titles, and everyone is jealous." Andy Robertson confirms new Liverpool contract talks as Red Star faces difficult question. Andy Robertson has confirmed contract talks with Liverpool are underway, but the vice-captain admits he is unsure as to what the future holds, saying, "I need to see what myself and my family wants moving forward." Robertson has rotated at left-back for the majority of the season, with £40 summer signing Milos Kerkez, and the Scotland captain faces the toughest competition he's had for a place in the side since he broke into the team under Jurgen Klopp in 2017. Now into his 9th season at Anfield, the left-back has started just 4 Premier League games this season, with 22-year-old Kerkez preferred by Arne Slot, and after interest from Atletico Madrid during the summer transfer window, Robertson admits what happens next is uncertain after explaining that negotiations have now commenced. "We'll see what happens," Robertson said. "We've had chats now which will remain private. I've spoken to them and we'll see what happens. Would I like to stay? Yes, but it's a difficult question to ask. I've got 5 months left and we need to see the option to stay or if there's options to go and things like that. Sit down with my family and decide. After a stressful summer, I'm just trying to enjoy being a part of it and being a Liverpool player. I wanted to qualify for the World Cup, and thankfully we've managed to do that. I need to see what myself and my family wants moving forward." Robertson had made 263 of his 320 Premier League appearances for the Reds during a legendary playing career on Merseyside that has seen him lift 2 Premier League titles, the Champions League and Club World Cup in 2019, a pair of Carabao Cup trophies and the FA Cup 4 years ago. And the 31-year-old insists his CV at Anfield means he doesn't have to prove anything to the club's hierarchy between now and the end of the season, when he can leave as a free agent. Robertson, who joined from Hull City for £8 in 2017, added, "I've given absolutely everything for the club for the last 8.5 years, and the club have been very good to me. They have rewarded me with good contracts when I have been playing well. Nobody can deny what I have given to this club. I've given everything day in and day out and put in some performances which I think have been good, and I hope others agree. I've won a lot of trophies and had a lot of good days here. So it's not quite like what the club needs to show in the next 4 months. My relationship with the people higher up in the club has always been excellent since the day I came in. Signing me for £8 and then doing what I have done helps that. I remind people of that all the time. The relationship is good, and it's not quite, what do they need to show me and what do I need to show them, as we've shown each other more than enough respect over the last 8.5 years, and we'll see what comes." Robertson insists he is enjoying his current role, rotating with Kirkes, but hinted that the reduction in playing time this term will be a factor in his thinking when he comes to decide his next step after a storied period at Anfield. "I can focus on the last 8.5 years. I think Jurgen Klopp left me out of one game and I was raging," he joked. "So I'm a player who wants to play. I've played through injuries. I've played when I'm not 100% fit. I've played when I've only been 50, 40, 30% fit for this club and my country. I always want to be on the grass and playing, and obviously now that's not happening, so that's what is different. But I do have a different role here this season which I'm getting enjoyment out of, but at the end of the day, footballers want to play, and if anyone is sat happy on the bench, then they don't belong at any football club. That's always my argument. You should always want to push to be in the team. If you're happy to be at Liverpool or Barnsley wanting to sit on the bench, then I don't think you have the right attitude. I've played well in the games I've played this season. Maybe I've not played as much as I would have liked, but it's nothing I've been surprised by. Let's see what happens." Another news is the January transfer window is now starting to gather pace as teams look to strengthen up for the second half of the Premier League season, and it is no different at Liverpool. The Reds have had a disappointing first half of the campaign, despite their busy summer window which saw the arrivals of the likes of Florian Wirtz, Alexander Isak and Hugo Ekitike. It has taken the former two some time to settle into their new home, but there are signs that they are doing so, although Isak faces some time on the sidelines due to injury. After making it through to the 4th round of the FA Cup last weekend, it's back to Premier League action on Saturday as the Reds take on newly promoted Burnley at Anfield. While concentration will be on that game, work in the background will be going on potential January deals. Liverpool have recently been linked with an interest in 52M rated midfielder Keys Smith, while England defender Mark Guehi is a name on everyone's lips after his summer transfer to Anfield fell through.